So now at this point we can actually see the system in action. This is me moving things around to look at different games, and I can choose a game from here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a bit so you can actually see the games on the screen just go flying by. Or we can do it this way and then it looks like the Star Wars font because of the angle. That's kind of cool and creepy all at once. And when we have it available, we can also look at a marquee. Whenever we have a marquee available, we can have a screenshot of the game. A lot of these games didn't originally have marquees. Something like this, a real classic like Hubert did. And there's a screenshot, information about the game, year of manufacture, how it's controlled, and all of that. Let's jump down to something that anybody who's played video games in the last 20 years should be familiar with. I'm going to go over to one of my personal favorites from when I was playing video games with abandon. We're going to look at some Street Fighter here. Yes, there's a lot of games. That's intentional. We'll talk a little more about that in a minute. Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. Classic, classic, classic game. Yes, I am zooming in on a monitor screen. You can tell the refresh is not the same, so yeah, there you go. I'm going to go ahead and hit a button to launch the game. And give that a minute. And you can actually see this start up as if it were an honest-to-God computer. We're going to zoom in a little bit. You can see this warning screen that shows up anytime the game is started up at the start of the arcade in the day. And this should certainly be familiar to anybody who's played Street Fighter 2 before. Of course, this is Champion Edition, so the color coding will be a little bit different. But it does pretty much work. And there's the attract screen doing its own thing. And I can actually put money in and all that. I'm going to steal a quarter from the bin just to go ahead and put a quarter in and show you. I'm going to close that as well, real quick. So just to show you the quarter slot does work. That's just cool. Yes, I could hit a couple of buttons to get free play and all of that, but there's just something cool about putting a quarter in something in your own home and it works. And the controls are super responsive. Then set that there while I kill something very quickly. Or maybe it kills me. I've got to learn to throw a dragon punch again. That was pretty hard, actually, for as experienced as I used to be at this game. Anyway, let me back out of this real quick. And we'll go ahead and get back to the main attract screen. Now, the reason I showed you that controller previously, that PlayStation controller, is because this plays lots and lots and lots of arcade games from all kinds of eras. Yes, it does that. But it also plays rhythm and dance games. You can plug in your USB-based dance pads and play that on this. Dance Dance Revolution, Step Mania, all the good stuff. This also runs Zinc, which is meant to play certain 3D style arcade games. You can play Super Nintendo games on this. Atari 2600 games. It comes with a Stella emulator, which is nice, and it really does work. And yes, just so you'll know, the version of Pac-Man for the Atari 2600 really is as bad as they say. You really should never ever play the game if you can avoid it. But it is there. If you can't see any ghosts, that's because they blink like constantly because it was so poorly programmed in such a short amount of time. And it's actually got some PlayStation games, if you're a PS1 person. And some regular NES, some Sega Genesis, so you can play Sonic the Hedgehog on here. And then back around to the arcade games again. Lots of stuff. Still some more stuff I can add, and we can talk about that in just a moment. I'm going to play one more piece of video I'm going to put together real quick after I stand up here.